Hi, this is Jason from Horrific Nightmares. Welcome to another edition of What's in the Bag, Jay. Now, this is the segment where I pick 6 movies from my collection that I haven't seen, write their names on a piece of paper, throw them in a bag, draw one out at random, and do a short review. Now, coming back from last week, we have Sector 7, Seeds of Destruction, The Devil's Rock, The Convent, Frenzy, and making its debut this week is Slashers Gone Wild. Now let's shake up the bag and see what we pull out. Alright, let's see what we got here. We have The Convent, finally. I know Lauren will be happy about that. Now let me set this aside while I set all of the movies side by side, and take my trusty Freddy vs. Jason die. We're going to see what comes back next week. I'll break the cup in a minute. 1. Oh boy. Alright, let's give the bag a good tussle. And I'm going to draw one out of the bag. We're going to see what comes back next week. We have Seeds of Destruction. Now, if you want Sector 7 to come back, The Devil's Rock, Frenzy, or Slashers Gone Wild, definitely vote and I will consider bringing them back. Right now, I'm going to go watch The Convent and come back with a short review later. Well, I'm back. I just watched The Convent, and here are my thoughts. The Convent is a 2018 film, which runs approximately 81 minutes, and is written and directed by Paul Hyett. Now, he directed Peripheral, Howl, which I really enjoyed, and The Seasoning House, which is a very, very disturbing film. I liked it. If you can say you like a movie like that, it's done really well. Maybe that's what I'm trying to say. Now, this stars Hannah Alterton as Persephone. I don't know why I like that name, but I do. Persephone is just a cool name to me. Very old, kind of older name. Now, she was in Peripheral, and We Are Tourists. Yeah. This also stars Rosie Day as Sister Emily. She was in Peripheral and Howl. And the named actor in this movie, which it doesn't really say this on the front, is actually Michael Ironside, who I have always really, really liked. Of course, Michael Ironside was in Visiting Hours, Starship Troopers, and American Nightmare, just to name a few. Now, what did I think about this film? Well, let me tell you my first perception. This is one of the big lot that I got from a lady that lives around my way that basically buys the $10 movies at Walmart, and she watches them and sells them for $2. You can't really beat that. To me, and to my buddy Joe as well, because I was talking to him about this looks like a Nun ripoff. Looks like one of those B movies that you really don't think much about. And, pretty much that. I was really wrong about this film. I actually really, really enjoyed this film. It's quality, okay? And it doesn't look it. I know it doesn't look it, but it is a quality film. Now, this takes place in the 1600s. It tells the story of a sister who was possessed in a convent, and then it takes place 40 years later, where a young girl named Persephone was accused of being a witch, and she was to be burned at the stake. Well, the Mother Superior from that convent goes to the magistrate, which is Michael Ironside, and basically says, "We want her. We don't think she's really that irredeemable. Um, we want her in the convent." And basically, they take these girls that are more or less considered witches, and they aren't. Persephone has visions of things that are happening. That is pretty much far from a witch, in my opinion. But anyway, they take these girls and they don't make them slaves, but they have them cooking, they have them attending to the sisters and stuff like that. Well, the sisters are getting this very high fever, which is killing them and ripping out their eyes. um, it's pretty graphic, it's pretty brutal, but they're trying to find out what's happening in the convent. What happened 40 years ago. Um, this is basically a story of trying to find out what is happening inside this convent. Let me tell you something, guys. This movie is fantastic. I really enjoyed it. The costumes are 100% authentic. The acting is right on point. The gore is, a lot of it's practical and it looks really good. There is a little bit of CGI gore in it, but it doesn't really take you out of the film. This is, to be honest with you, guys, this is a hidden gem. I really enjoyed this. Now, this is an English film that was made for £2 million, but only grossed worldwide a little over $350,000, like $350,000 worldwide. Which is a shame, because this movie is better than a lot of the movies that they put out in the theaters these days. Like I said, it really shocked me. When you look at the cover, you expect one of those B movies that are a ripoff of The Nun. This was better than The Nun, in my opinion. My problem with a lot of the films like The Nun, although I do like it, is it gets kind of, and I always say this, it gets kind of fantastical at the end. Almost unbelievable. Like, the story goes along really well, it keeps you invested, and then all of a sudden, all hell breaks loose, and you have a ton of CGI and a ton of things that just bombard you. That's usually my problem with these films. This does get a little fantastical at the end, but in my opinion, for good reason. Like I said, I really enjoyed this. Don't forget to vote for the ones that didn't make it, because there are quite a few this week. And if you like what you see and hear, hit that like button and subscribe. And until next time, peace.